Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, everybody, for this beautiful book called Goals by Brian Tracy. It talks about and it teaches us how to get everything we want faster than we have ever thought possible. And without further ado, I'm going to start this wonderful book right away. And here it is an idea for all of us how the entire table of contents is done. So we'll go chapter by chapter. We'll read half an hour every single day. And last 5 minutes we'll dedicate to 3 minutes we'll dedicate to the Lotus of Gratitude, which we've been practicing. And for the new ones who are here, I posted that Lotus of Gratitude already on the WhatsApp group. So you can always go through it and follow it because there will be no cameras for anybody. So that's how it is. Now here we are. This book is dedicated to Rick Metcalf, a good friend, a great American, an extraordinary entrepreneur, one of the best salesmen who ever lived, and an inspiration to everyone who knew him. I only wish you could be here to read this book. You left us all too soon. And the preface, this book is for ambitious people who want to get ahead faster. If this is the way you think and feel, you are the person for whom this book is written. The ideas contained in the pages ahead will save you years of hard work in achieving the goals that are most important to you. I've spoken more than I'm so sorry for the intrusion. I think there was a net connection, and I'm sorry for that. Resharing the book preview Goals by Brian Tracy. And we'll continue where we began. In fact, I'm going to start from here. So after countless talks on various themes, if I was only given 5 minutes to speak to you, and I could only convey one thought that would help you to be more successful, I would tell you to write down your goals and make plans to achieve them and work on your plans every single day. This advice, if you followed it, would be of more help to you than anything else you could ever learn. Many university graduates have told me that this simple concept has been more valuable to them than 4 years of study. This idea has changed my life and the lives of millions of other people. It will change yours as well. Now, what's a turning point in our goal journey? A group of successful men got together in Chicago some time ago, talking about the experience of their lives. All of them were millionaires and multimillionaires. Like most successful people, they were both humble and grateful for what they had achieved and for the blessings that life had bestowed upon them. As they discussed the reasons why they had managed to achieve so much in life, the wisest man amongst them spoke up and said that in his estimate, success is goals and all else is commentary. Your time and your life are precious. The biggest waste of time and life is for you to spend years accomplishing something that you could have achieved only in a few months. By following the practical, proven process of goal setting and goal achieving laid out in this book, you will be able to accomplish vastly more in a shorter period of time than you could have ever imagined before. The speed at which you can move forward and upward, onward and upward will amaze both yourself and all the people around you. By following these simple and easy to apply methods and techniques, you can move quickly from rags to riches in the months and years ahead. You can transform your experience from poverty and frustration to affluence and satisfaction. You can go far beyond your friends and families and achieve more in life than most other people you know. In my talks, seminars, and consulting, I have worked with more than 2 million people all around the world. I found over and over again that an average person with clear goals will run circles around a genius who's not sure what he or she really wants. So ultimately, that's what we are being told, that it's about consistency. अगर हमारी लाइफ में हम क्लैरिटी से लिख सकते हैं goals, then success will be there with us, because if we have goals and if we write them down and if we want to really achieve them, then how do we go have the go-to plan, and every single day we review. That's what in a way Slight Edge was also about, right? The last book that we did. Let's continue. My personal mission statement has not changed in years. It is to help people achieve their goals faster than they ever would in the absence of my help. This book contains the distilled essence of all that I have ever learned in the area of success, achievement, and goal attainment. By following the steps explained in the pages ahead, you will move to the front of the line in life. For my children, this book is meant to be a roadmap and a guide to help you get from wherever you are to wherever you want to go. For my friends and readers of this book, my reason for writing it is to give you a proven system that you can use to move forward onto the fast track in your own life. Welcome. A great new adventure is about to begin. Introduction to this wonderful book is here. This is a wonderful time to be alive. There have never been more opportunities for creative and determined people to achieve more of their goals than they can today. Regardless of short-term ups and downs in the economy and in your life, we are entering into an age of peace and prosperity superior to any previous era in human history. In the year 1900, there were 5,000 millionaires in America. By the year 2000, there were more than 5 million, most of them self-made in one generation. Experts predict that there will be another 10 to 20 million millionaires created in the next 2 decades. Your goal should be to become one of them. This book will show you how. So a slow start. Let's talk about that. When I was 18, I left high school without graduating. My first job was of a dishwasher in the back of a small hotel. From there, I moved on to washing cars and washing floors with a janitorial service. For the next few years, I drifted and worked at various laboring jobs, earning my living by the sweat of my brow. I worked in sawmills and factories. I worked on farms and ranches. I worked in the tall timber with a chainsaw and dug wells when the logging season ended. I worked as a construction laborer on tall buildings and as a seaman on a Norwegian freighter in the North Atlantic. Often I slept in my car on a cheap rooming houses. When I was 23, I was working as an itinerant farm labor during the harvest, sleeping on the hay in the barn and eating with the farmer's family. I was uneducated, unskilled, and at the end of the harvest, unemployed once more. When I could no longer find a laboring job, I got a job in straight commission sales, cold calling from office to office, ran from door to door. I would often work all day long to make a single sale so that I could pay for my rooming house and have a place to sleep that night. That was not a great start at life. Now, which day changed his life? Let's talk about that. Then one day, I took out a piece of paper and wrote down an outrageous goal for myself. I was to earn $1,000 per month in door-to-door and office-to-office selling. I folded up the piece of paper, put it away, and never found it again. But 30 days later, my entire life had changed. During that time, I discovered a technique for closing sales that tripled my income from the very first day. Meanwhile, the owner of the company sold out to an entrepreneur who had just moved into town. Exactly 30 days after I had written down my goal, he took me aside and offered me $1,000 per month to head up the sales force and teach the other people what it was that I was doing and enabled me to selling so much more than anyone else. I accepted his offer, and from that day forward, my life was never the same. Within 18 months, I had moved from that job to another, and then to another. I went from personal selling to becoming a sales manager with people selling for me. I recruited and built a 95-person sales force. I went literally from worrying about my next meal to walking around with a pocket full of $20 bills. I began teaching my people how to write down their goals and how to sell more effectively. In almost no time at all, they doubled and tripled and increased their incomes as much as 10 times. Many of them are today millionaires and multimillionaires. Now, it's important to note that since those days in my mid 20s, my life has not been a smooth series of upward steps. It has included many ups and downs, marked by occasional successes and temporary failures. I have traveled, lived, and worked in more than 80 countries, learning French, German, Spanish along the way, and working in 22 different fields. As a result of inexperience and sometimes sheer stupidity, I've spent or lost everything I made and had to start all over again. Several times. In fact, in every case when this happened, I would begin by sitting down with a piece of paper, laying out a new set of goals for myself using the method that I'll explain in the pages ahead. After several years of hit and miss goal setting and goal achieving, I finally decided to collect everything I had learned into a single system. By assembling these ideas and strategies in one place, I developed a goal setting methodology and process with a beginning, middle, and an end, and began to follow it every single day. Within 1 year, following this blueprint for goal achieving in my life had changed once more. In January of that year, I was living in a rented apartment with rented furniture. I was 35,000 in debt and driving a used car that wasn't paid for. By December, I was living in my own 100,000 condominium. I had a new Mercedes that had paid off all my debts and I had $50,000 in bank. Then I really got serious about success. I realized that this goal setting stuff was incredibly powerful. I invested hundreds and then thousands of hours reading and researching on goal setting and a goal achieving, synthesizing the best ideas I could find into a complete goal setting and achieving process that worked with incredible effectiveness. Anyone can do it. In 1981, I began teaching my system in workshops and seminars that have now reached more than 2 million people in 35 countries. I began audio taping and videotaping my courses so that others could use them. We have now trained hundreds of thousands of people in these principles in multiple languages all over the world. What I found was that these ideas work everywhere for everyone. In virtually every country, no matter what your education, experience, or background may be when you begin. Most of all, these ideas have made it possible for me and many thousands of others to take complete control over our lives. The regular and systematic practice of goal setting has taken us from poverty to prosperity, from frustration to fulfillment, from underachievement to success and satisfaction. The system will do the same for you. What I learned early on is that any plan is better than no plan at all. And it's not necessary to reinvent the wheel. All the answers have already been found. There are hundreds of thousands and even millions of men and women who started with nothing and achieved great success following these principles. And what others have done, you can do as well if you just learn how. In the pages ahead, you will learn 21 of the most important ideas and strategies ever discovered for achieving anything that you could ever want in life. You will find that there are no limits to what you can accomplish except for the limits you place on your own imagination. And since there are no limits to what you can imagine, there are no limits to what you can achieve. This is one of the greatest discoveries of all. Let us begin. A journey of 1,000 leagues begins with a single step, says Confucius. And it's very beautiful to know that Azim Premji says that if our dreams aren't so big that people laugh at them, then they're not dreams worthy enough. So itna bada socho, itna bada dekho, that you were like, wow, is this achievable? And you said, yes, 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 it's achievable. And one more thing, an advice to everybody here who's in the course, whether you're online or offline or on call right now here, it's important to dream, it's important to make goals, लेकिन अपने goals के बारे में पहले plan of action बनाएं. Start doing what you're doing before talking about it too much in the open. Start by trial and error, and then gradually talk about it so that somebody may come and collaborate with you. But don't open the bag too soon without you being very, very sure, right? That's because you need to be serious about your own life, not just taking the step or making the goals just for the sake of it. Now we reach the chapter number 1, which is unlock your potential. So all of us have a lot of potential, and this is where we learn to unlock it. Now, Brian Tracy, the author of this book, says the potential of the average person is like a huge ocean, unsailed, on a new continent, unexplored, a world of possibilities waiting to be released and channeled towards some great good. Please understand, if you have this hard copy or if you have a printout, highlight this if possible or underline this if possible. Success is goals and all else is commentary. We've read this. Put this somewhere in your vision board because this line is very, very, very important. All successful people are intensely goal-oriented. They know what they want and they're focused single-mindedly on achieving it every single day. Your ability to set goals is the master skill of success. Goals unlock your positive mind and release ideas and energy for goal attainment. Without goals, you simply drift and flow on the currents of life. With goals, you fly like an arrow, straight and true to your target. The truth is that you probably have more natural potential than you could use if you ever lived 100 lifetimes. Whatever you have accomplished up until now is only a small fraction of what is truly possible for you. One of the rules of success is this: it doesn't matter where you're coming from. All that matters is where you're going. And where you're going is solely determined by yourself and your own thoughts. छाया करांडे मैंने ग्रुप में लिखा था, this session is only in English and हम read भी English में करेंगे and explain भी English में करेंगे. हिंदी का यहाँ कोई concept नहीं है. So if English is not the chosen language for you, then this is not the chosen book for you or the session for you. Thank you for being here. Clear goals increase your confidence, develop your competence, and boost your levels of motivation. As sales trainer Tom Hopkins says, goals are the fuel in the furnace of achievement. Again, get this very clear. बहुत clarity से जब हम goals लिखते हैं, हमारा confidence बढ़ता है. Our competence, our act of doing something increases, and we get more motivated. Why? Because it's going to fuel us. Thoda sa bhi achievement, success, yes, I can do it. Let's next step, next step, next step. So it's very, very important to be in sync, in synchronicity with all that is unfolding around you. There's one beautiful reality. You create your own world. Perhaps the greatest discovery in human history is the power of your mind to create the aspects of your life. Everything you see around you in the man-made world began as a thought or as an idea in the mind of a single person before it was translated into reality. Everything in your life started as a thought, a wish, a hope, or a dream, either in your mind or in the mind of someone else. Your thoughts are creative. Your thoughts form and shape your world and everything that happens to you. The great summary statement of all religions, philosophies, metaphysics, psychology, and success is this: you become what you think about most of the time. Your outer world ultimately becomes a reflection of your inner world and mirrors back to you what you think about. Whatever you think about continuously emerges in your reality. Again, I repeat, whatever you think about continuously emerges in your reality. जो सोचते रहते हैं बार बार, that becomes the vastavikta, that becomes the reality, that becomes your truth. Many thousands of successful people have been asked what it is that they think about most of the time.
The most common answer given by successful people is that they think about what they want and how to get it most of the time. Unsuccessful, unhappy think and talk about what they don't want most of the time. They talk about their problems and worries and who's to blame, and most of the time. Successful people keep their thoughts and conversations in the topics on the topics of their most intensely desired goals. They think and talk about what they want most of the time. I'm going to just turn the page around. वापस समझिएगा क्या लिखा हुआ है. Successful people वो होते हैं जो हर समय उसके बारे में सोचते हैं what they want to achieve. And कैसे मिलना है, how. चाहिए want, सबको चाहिए want. लेकिन वो कैसे मिलना है, how to get it. That they understand कि मुझे ये करना है. Plan, which means a goal, a plan. Unsuccessful, unhappy people वो होते हैं जिनको हर समय चाहिए तो होता है, but they are gripped in a blame game. मेरे साथ ये नहीं हुआ because ऐसा हुआ. Excuses. Successful people अपनी thoughts, अपने conversation, अपने जो भी topics हैं जिसके बारे में सोचते desired roles हैं, वो उसके बारे में ही सोचते हैं, उसके बारे में ही बोलते हैं. No excuses. I want to get there and I talk about that. Not कि मैं क्यों नहीं पहुंची. There's no scope for any excuses, right? Living without clear goals is like driving in a thick fog. No matter how powerful or well engineered your car, you drive slowly, hesitantly, making little progress on even the smoothest of roads. Deciding upon your goals clears the fog immediately and allows you to focus and channel your energies and abilities. Clear goals enable you to step on the accelerator of your own life and leap ahead rapidly towards achieving more of the things you really want. Isn't this beautiful? ये जो metaphor दिया, example दिया है, it's so powerful. And people who live in the northern part of the country or in places where there's fog, you'll relate with this. जब fog होता है, कोहरा होता है, how do we drive? Slowly, carefully, wipers going on and on. That's how we are. जब mind में बहुत doubt होता है कि हमें जाना है, आगे जाना है, कैसे जाना है पता नहीं. But जहाँ हमने बना लिया that this is where I want to go, and this is my direction, and this is the path, then I zip through it because there's no core, it's clarity. How beautiful. So our automatic goal-seeking function, all of us function in a particular way. Let's understand that. Imagine that exercise. You take a homing pigeon out of the roost, put it in a cage, cover the cage with a blanket, put the cage in a box, and then place the box in a closed truck cab. You can then drive 1,000 miles in any direction. If you then open the truck cab, take out the box, take off the blanket, let the homing pigeon out of the cage, the homing pigeon will fly up in the air, circle 3 times, and then fly unerringly back to its home roost 1,000 miles away. This is the only creature on earth that has this incredible cybernetic goal-seeking function except for man. You have the same goal-achieving ability as a homing pigeon, but with one marvelous addition. When you are absolutely clear about your goal, you do not have to know where it is or how it is to be achieved. By simply deciding exactly what it is you want, you will begin to move unerringly towards your goals, and your goal will start to move unerringly towards you at exactly the same right time and the right pace, and your goal will be met. And you will meet your goal. Because of this incredible cybernetic mechanism located deep within your mind, you always achieve your goals wherever, whatever they are. You move towards them and they move towards you. If your goal is to get home at night and watch television, you will almost certainly achieve it. If your goal is to create a wonderful life full of health, happiness, prosperity, you will achieve that as well. Like a computer, your goal seeking mechanism is non judgmental. It works automatically and continuously to bring you what you want, regardless of what you program into it. Nature doesn't care about the size or scope of your goals. If you set little goals, your automatic goal achieving mechanism will enable you to achieve little goals. If you set large goals, this natural capability will enable you to achieve larger goals. The size, scope, and detail of the goals you choose to think about most of the time is completely up to you. Why people don't set goals? ये समझना बहुत important है. सबके पास dreams हैं, desires हैं, wants हैं, wishes हैं. लेकिन हम गोल सेट क्यों नहीं करते हैं? Here is a good question. If goal setting is automatic, why is it so difficult? Why is it that so few people have clear, written, measurable, time-bounded goals that they work towards each day? This is one of the greatest mysteries of life. I believe there are 4 reasons why people don't set goals. Goals aren't important. उनको लगता है success चाहिए, but goals aren't important. First, most people don't realize the importance of goals. If you grow up in a home where there are no goals, where no one has goals, or you socialize with a group where goals are neither discussed nor valued, you can easily reach adulthood without knowing that your ability is to set and achieve goals will have more of an effect in your life than any other skill. Look around you. How many of your friends or family members are clear and committed to their goals? ये समझना बहुत important है. अगर हमारी families में goal setting हमने करा ही नहीं है कि by this month this is what I want to achieve, मुझे इस साल इतने percentage लाने हैं, अगर student है हम तो कि मुझे आज captain बनना है school का या president बनना है school का या मुझे life में इतना रुपया कमाना है इस time तक. If these goal setting is not there, family में अगर inculcated नहीं है, तो बहुत easily हम बिना goal setting के life बिता सकते हैं, बहुत easily. So सबसे important question है, जैसी संगति होती है वो हमारे ऊपर असर करता है. हमारे आसपास कितने फैमिली या फ्रेंड्स हैं जिनके पास क्लियर है और जो कमिटेड है अपने गोल्स में? ये कैसे मालूम पड़ेगा आपको? आप उनका सक्सेस ग्राफ देखिए. वो 5 साल 10 साल पहले कहाँ थे, आज कहाँ हैं? अगर वो जहाँ थे वहां हैं, इसका मतलब उनके गोल्स क्लियर नहीं है, वो मेडियोक्रेसी की लाइफ जी रहे हैं. जैसे वैसे थे उन्होंने उसको एक्सेप्ट कर लिया, वो आज भी वैसे हैं. जिसने रेंटेड हाउस से अपना अपार्टमेंट ले लिया है, अपना बंगलो ले लिया है, छोटी गाड़ी से बड़ी गाड़ी ले ली है, या ज्यादा वो शार्पर हो गया है लुक्स में, या पतला ज्यादा हो गया, हेल्दी ज्यादा हो गया है, दैट मीन्स सच पीपल हैव गोल्स एंड दे आर फॉलोइंग दोज गोल्स. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू नो टू फॉलो देम. नाउ लोग क्यों गोल सेटिंग नहीं करते? बिकॉज दे डोंट नो हाउ टू डू इट. The second reason that people don't have goals is because they don't know how to set them in the first place. Even worse, many people think that they already have goals when in reality, what they actually have are a series of wishes or dreams like be happy or make a lot of money, have a nice family life. ये तो सब लोग बोलते हैं. These are not goals. This is the intention of everybody. कौन बोलेगा मुझे गरीब लाइफ रहना है या मुझे मोटा पतला मोटा काला या गरीबी में रहना है, बीमारी में रहना, कोई बोलेगा? Obviously not. Everybody wants happiness. Everybody wants abundance. Everybody wants good relationships. Everybody wants joy and love. But these are not goals at all. They are merely fantasies that are common to everybody. A goal, however, is something distinctly different from a wish. It is clear, written, and specific. It can be quickly and easily described to another person. You can measure it, and you know when you have achieved it or not. It is possible to take an advanced degree at a leading university without ever receiving 1 hour of instruction on goal setting. It is almost as if the people who determine the educational content of our schools and universities are completely blind to the importance of goal setting and achieving success later in life. And of course, you never hear about goals until you're an adult. As experience, you will have no idea how important they are to everything you do. Now, there are a few more things why we don't set up the goals is the fear of failure. The third reason that people don't set goals is because of the fear of failure. Failure hurts. It is emotionally and often financially painful and distressing. Everyone has had failure experiences from time to time. Each time, they resolve to be more careful next time and avoid failure experiences in the future. They make the mistake of unconsciously sabotaging themselves by not setting any goals at which they may fail. They end up going through life functioning at far lower levels than are truly possible for them. There's another reason why goal setting nahi hoti hai. Failure hai, pata nahi hai, goals important nahi hai, ye sab myths to hai. Ek aur failure, sabse bada failure. The fear of rejection. The fourth reason that people don't set goals is because of the fear of rejection. People are afraid that if they set a goal and are not successful, others will criticize or ridicule them. This is one of the reasons why when you begin to set goals, you should keep your goals confidential. ये बात समझे हम? जब शुरुआत करते हैं, क्लैरिटी पूरी नहीं है हमें और गोल्स हमारे हैं, तो we should not talk about them. Because जहां लड़खड़ाएंगे वहां लोग खड़े हो जाएंगे ताने कसने के लिए. क्यों? लोग का तो काम है कहना. That doesn't matter. So let them see by your results and achievements what you have accomplished. But don't tell them in advance. What they don't know can't hurt you. Isn't this beautiful? And on this beautiful, wonderful note, today we conclude our day and our session number 1 of this wonderful book by reading for about 30 minutes, 31 minutes right now. And let's practice our Lotus of Gratitude. So मैंने इसका group में video भेजा था. Nitya Shanti is one of my teachers. And he's taught all of us Lotus of Gratitude. For the ones who joined the first time or वो video नहीं देख पाए होंगे, let me explain this beautiful practice to you. So what we do is we sit down straight with our back straight and we close our eyes. If you want, your eyes can be open. If you want, they can be closed. I prefer to close them. Your decision is yours. दोनों हाथों को we put them together as small buds, as if they're small little lotuses, closed lotuses in your hands. Left palm का एक, right का एक. And एक एक हम पंखड़ी खोलते हैं, एक एक finger खोलते हैं, and we count the blessings for something good that's happened in our life. So let's do that. It's इसमें about 100 seconds लगते हैं, 10 seconds per thing लगता है. So let's take about 2 minutes and think of all the wonderful things that you have been blessed with, preferably in the last 24 hours. Otherwise, whatever comes to your mind. So let's think about this and come back in 2 minutes. Here we start. For those who've completed this exercise, now you can put your hands on your heart. Life is so beautiful. Life is a blessing. I'm blessed with so much of love and light. My body is wonderful, healthy, healing in every given moment because I have an intention to heal, to become the best version of myself. I'm surrounded by love of family and friends. I'm open and receptive to all the love and all the blessings in the universe. Now you can expand your hands, chest level pe haath chaude kare, as if you're just praying to the universe. I'm a conduit of love and light. I'm a channel of spreading love and light. I'm open and receptive to all the abundance in the universe. Wherever I go, prosperity follows. I am love. I am light. I shine bright, bright here, right now. I can put your hands back at your heart level and say, I give permission to myself to heal, to clear all old programming, which was limiting me in my life to follow my dreams. And here onwards, I now create a life of love, of light, of goals, of making my dreams come true faster than ever. I choose life. I choose myself. And so it is. So it is. So it is. Let's fold our hands and be very grateful to our masters, angels, guardians, spirit guides, mentors, teachers, gurus, ancestors, loved ones, in this realm or the other, in this dimension or the other, in this space or the other, for their nudging, prodding, guarding, guiding, and making us a beautiful channel of love and light, for making me so blessed, for helping us being so blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. With this, we end our beautiful day. So once again, I repeat my words. Sleep tight and have a good night. I'll see you in the gap. I'll see you inside tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. for continuing our beautiful journey of goals by Brian Tracy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you tomorrow. Good night.